Okay, so this is a little experiment here, um, using a controller shot as well as frapsing the footage up top. This would be done eventually with the HD collection if I ever bother playing with the tuner card, but this is going to be an intro into the advanced mechanics. Last one I did was really high level. I didn't really cover how much was going on, so this is going to be a really basic intro. I'm going to use Dante again. I'm going to change this custom up. Get the mouse out of the way. And hopefully this controller shot works out. It's pretty stable, and you can see me using the top buttons and stuff, and I don't have to do much dual watching and stuff like that, so I can concentrate. Last time my stuff was all over the place because I trade. Let's see, what do we want to use? We're doing Swordmaster, so we need Beowulf for an intro, absolutely. And let's go with Rebellion. Why not? So here we go. I covered controller figs in the last one, so because that's more advanced stuff, I'm not going to really talk too much about it. So again, I'm going to the Skull Chamber, and let me just take this guy out because training or whatever. My controller config is all off. But at least I'm on Swordmaster. I don't know how I ended up on that. Weird. Whoop. Smacked a bit. That's okay. I don't really play too, in the beginning I'm just kind of fooling around or whatever. God, this guy doesn't want to move. How do I have my buttons wrong? It's weird. Oh, come on. Just die. Ugh. Okay. Go move me for 2 seconds. You can actually get a quick controller overview. Change gun. Double trigger. Wow, these are way off. Lock on. Melee. Shoot. Style. Jump. Good. So the first thing, I'm just going to cover what a jump cancel is. So, as I'm talking, I'm probably going to be fighting these guys a bit, so just I'm getting used to getting back into it. So I'm gonna start with Killer Bee. Killer Bee is a Beowulf attack, and it is just this. It's like a dive kick. Dive on in there. My double trigger is on X, which will drive me nuts. Double trigger, circle. Okay. So here we go. Killer Bee is a vanilla attack. Vanilla means it's not style based. So a non-vanilla attack style based would be something like Hammer, which is this. Hammer's you can't use it with other styles, so it's style based. Vanilla means it can be used with any style. So Killer Bee can be used, whatever, Gunslinger, Trickster, it's universal. So the way to do an ESC, which is an enemy step cancel, which is the foundation of all this styling and crazy stuff. And if we did a slowdown, you would see, you would see me actually jumping. I'm jumping right now doing this stuff, which is hard to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a Killer Bee, and I'm going to jump off it. Jump. Simple, right? Let's jump, cancel, jump. Jump. jump, jump. Just a little rocket, jump, jump. And you can usually, I think 5 usually. You can usually get 5 of them, I think. Now that my fingers are getting a little bit warmed up. Let me see if I can get like a 5 or something. Oh, no, you gotta be standing up, kid. Get up, get up, get up, get up. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 1. He's gonna die. Boom. Anyway, you can get about 5. So to practice, you just, there's one thing about enemy step cancels that's very important, is you have to have the right trajectory, basically, in order to do it. So you can't just like do this and try to get a cancel, even though I got one. Sometimes you're either too high, too low, whatever. You have to be within the hitbox, which is hitbox are basically like little geometric areas where you hit. Basically, wherever I'm getting a spark is probably like the hitbox area. So for a jump cancel, you have to be within a hitbox where you're available to jump or enemy step off an enemy. Because if you're not above the enemy, you can't jump off them. You can't do this stuff. You know. I mean, you can do it without a move too. There you go. See, I'm just jumping off him. You have to be above him to jump off something. You know? I think we all learned that in 2nd grade. Well, I don't know how many people are jumping. Well, no, I guess that makes sense. So, again, see how I have to raise my height? If my height is too low, I mean, I'm doing it's hard actually to screw up. But if my height is too low, I can't jump off them. And a lot of times you'll see doing cancels and stuff, you'll see me drop. So let's see. So there we go. I'm too low. I'm too low. I can't do it anymore, right? So too low. Too low. Can't do it. I call that the ESC threshold, which is basically the enemy step cancel threshold, where if you keep up your pattern of canceling, you go straight into air hike where appropriate if the weapon has it. And Rebellion's a pretty good example. I mean, look, there's the threshold. I broke it. Also gets into a little advanced stuff where I talk about the dead zone, which I'm not going to go into because that's more advanced. So I'm going to cover another little more advanced enemy step with Rebellion, which is the Helmbreaker. This is Helmbreaker. Boom. Break their helm, break their head. Ironically, it doesn't always hit them in the head. On the back. I don't know what helm I'm breaking. But Helmbreaker is key for some advanced stuff like trampoline combos that I do. LTG, more advanced stuff. It's in the guide, but not really going to put into that. So, Helmbreaker can be canceled anywhere. Jump, see? It can be done on down state, which is an enemy that's on the ground. Down state, jump, 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 jump. And you can keep doing it. And like, so yeah, I mean, that's actually tough to chain. I have the timing down, so there's different heights you can actually cancel on Helmbreaker. Usually when I do it in standard space, I follow up with a quick cancel to an AR X1, which is the first attack of Aerial Raid. This is Aerial Raid. So if I cancel on the first attack, I can actually set him up for a free ride. So if I cancel on first attack, if I can do it, sets him up for a free ride. But if I Helmbreaker and just try to jump on him, he might get up, because he's trying to get out of the down state. So, see, look, I can't jump on him. Free ride doesn't work, because he's trying to get up. So you gotta stun him, ground stun. There you go. And you see right there, I was actually jumping off him without hitting him. So that's actually another key thing for Helmbreaker cancels, is sometimes if you're too early, you're just going to jump off the dude, you're not even going to hit him. Which is no good. We don't want that. You know, like I said, that was a double tap. Double tap. I did that last video too. where you do two volcano cancels, which is an interesting one that I'll do right now. This is volcano, right? This is a splash. So normally you could do like a hammer into volcano, right? Like this, even though I did an air hike right there. Just my cancel is a little slow. But you can actually, here we go, you can actually cancel off volcano. So on the way down. So it looks like you're doing like a little stutter. Let's see. It's a bit actually hard to do when you don't when you're trying to do it. Hey, I don't know. You guys can go back. I did it in the first, I've done it a bunch of times. It's basically a very quick cancel, like one of a swipe cancel when you're coming down. There, I just did it. I just didn't get the. You saw me kind of jump off and cancel it out, which kind of illustrates that you can actually cancel out of volcano and not even hit off it, which is kind of like doing what you would do on a double tap, but stopping after the first one. So let me do an aerial cancel with swipe. Now, what I mean by swipe is rolling my finger. See, that's swiping. I'm using a Killer Bee, which is the wrong attack to do that, but swipe, 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 swipe. I feel that most players can do this. It's a little bit of the timing, so you can actually go too fast or too slow. It happens. Let me try to do a slow tempo aerial Rave X1, which is this. You can kind of really slowly kind of drop Dante. See that? See how slow that is? Not particularly flashy, but it just proves the point. And you can actually go too fast. So watch. I actually have issues going too fast with the cancels. So that's a bad example. It's too low. But another bad example. It's going to die now. But basically, if you go too fast, what happens is you're as you go quickly back to square like this, right? You didn't give yourself enough time for your melee to connect. So you're actually canceling your own input out on your melee and jumping. So there you go. See, I went too fast. I actually jumped. I actually canceled off myself by going too fast. One attack that's easy to go too fast on is Cerberus swing cancels. They can get really ugly. So let me do an aerial swipe, because since I was talking about swipe, I've done it a few times. See, you can do an X1 swipe, which is the first attack, like I said, or you can do a X2. Just do it, which is pretty cool. And then we have more of the Helmbreaker shenanigans I talked about. I mean, you can do it in open space, straight there, free ride, and then bounce, 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 bounce. That timing is a lot harder than it looks to do this. I know it looks kind of easy that I'm just jumping, but yeah, it took me a little bit of time. Unless you're like a whiz or something, I don't know. Maybe you are. But yeah, that's kind of tricky. But you can also do different types of bounces, and that's sort of the foundation of trampoline combos that I was having fun with. So you can do an air hike cancel, and the other thing is when you're in open space with Helmbreaker, you got to be careful. This is actually easier than low altitude because you see how the enemy is standing up. That gives you a larger hitbox range. See, he's standing up, making the cancel easier. When I'm doing this, he's way low on his hitbox, so I have to time that just like perfectly. Nice and peachy. So that can be pretty tough. So, what do I have? I got A. I'm packing A and R. And, you could little LTG in open space. Boom. Little crush. 2-2-2. Oh, smash. We got him. Boom. Fun stuff. Like that. Pretty good. This is much easier when I don't have to watch the laptop at the same time. I think my controller's coming off pretty, and I think you can see my triggers too, which is pretty nice. And do some buffering. That's advanced buffering is a little above this. Other jump cancel combinations. I mean, Killer Bee is great if you want to practice your first melee into swipe. So I talked about it in the last video, but this is when I have the melee mapped high, it's that rocket type, thing. So I'm doing rocking back and forth between square and R1 on my button config. Doesn't mean you have to use it, but that's just how I do it. But transitioning from a rocket to a swipe can be a little tricky. So for Killer Bee, it's good practice to do your Killer Bee cancel into Volcano, because then I know Volcano has an input of toward in style, which is a bit awkward, which means you can also do Hammer, but Hammer is actually harder to time than Volcano at Killer Bee. Even though it looks like they're the same, the timing is definitely harder. So I would not want to start with this kind of stuff here. Killer Bee into Hammer like that. It's, especially if you want to chain them and stuff. You can actually, if you get the hitbox low enough, you can actually chain hammer attacks 5 or 6 in a row, or pretty much on infinite, because it doesn't vertically drop. So if you get the enemy good on downstate, then you can do like just a ton of those things. Boom, 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 boom. That's pretty janky. So yeah, a good one to practice is Hammer into the Volcano. And since you just have to hit toward, so I mean you're already attacking that direction, so it's not a big deal. So I would do it on a standing opponent, but there you go, boom. I can even do it. There you go, quick. It's a quick motion. Standing guy, Killer Bee, cancel. Forward, cancel. Swipe. See, it's just swipe. Swipe forward, and yeah, you gotta, with different attacks, you gotta switch weapons, kind of stuff like this, transition. So, this isn't a bad one. It's to wait till he stands. Killer Bee straight into ARX1 and get 3 of those. It's a good combo. Boom, 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 boom. So let me just rip off some combos, because I still like to do combos. They're fun. Buffer, launch, just do it. Oh, total whiff. It didn't look like it was going to whiff, did it? Clean it up. That AR full string actually does pretty good damage, so it's a good finisher for combos. It'll actually clean up enemies pretty well. So yeah, that's pretty much enemy step cancel. Again, start with Killer Bee. I did, and I made the right choice, because even on downstate and stuff, and like I was saying before, it matters your height, your distance. You can't be too far away when you try it, or your trajectory is too low when you're too far away, because you're not going to be above the enemy. You have to be above those hitboxes. You can't jump off something. You can't do that. I mean, what am I going to do? Jump off his neck? Maybe, but I'm just too low. So if I get the proper height, see? Proper height, too low. And you can even be pretty much over on top of them, kind of like that, that works too. So I'm going to cut this now, and that should make it pretty easy to figure out how to do enemy step cancels. So, and that's all I got.